everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not do Friday shows. I don't know. I'm out of town again this weekend. I'm going to Chicago for Cox and Crendor, so no show tomorrow because Crendor and I will be preparing for the live show this weekend, which is sold out. I'm thankful for all of you going. And by prepare, I mean goof off all day Friday and do no work. So today in the news, Gamescom is in full swing. A lot of information is coming out of Germany right now, and I figured I'd talk about some of the things that really interested me. Hopefully they will interest you as well. On a personal note, very excited for Cyberpunk 2077's 2.0 patch, which is a separate thing from the expansion, so you can play the game with all the new tweaks and updates before jumping into the new stuff if you have your concerns, if you're wondering if they nailed it or not. I think that is super smart and a very good strategy by them to get people to try out the new content. And then my fanboy soul continues to be blessed with the amazing Alan Wake 2. I am so excited for this game. They are clearly using all the things they learned while making Control, which is one of my favorite games ever, and so I'm excited to see the visual hints from that world. I mean, like, they're definitely going for a shared universe between the two games. From what I've seen at Game Fest and what I'm hearing from people who are actually playing it, it still has the same vibes of the original Alan Wake, but it's sort of stepped up a notch, which is really what a sequel should do, so excited about this. But the biggest bit of excitement that got me literally texting my friends mid-trailer reveal, of course, was Little Nightmares 3. The third game in a totally bonkers yet completely compelling universe of eldritchy, I guess, horrors. You now play as the characters Low and Alone. That's right, the game can be played with a PC character or co-op. The co-op edition being something that is really interesting, and if it works out well, should be the future of this franchise, especially when it comes to me and the boys. The demo is being played right now by people. I guess it takes place in a desert world, and from what I'm hearing, it is the exact same thing as the other two games in style and substance, except, you know, with two players. So if that's your jam, and it is mine, then this one should be something to look forward to. Obviously, there's more coming out of Gamescom than just this, but, you know, I got 5 minutes, so I chose what I thought was awesome. But in the comments, let me know, what are you seeing that you're like, whoa, Jesse, why didn't you cover this? Let me know down below. In other news, remember how earlier this week we were talking about Xbox 360 store closing and how, for video game preservation's sake, that wasn't going to be great because we were going to lose a bunch of digital games. Well, in an interview with Eurogamer, Xbox boss Phil Spencer, the X-Boss, said he'd love to find solutions allowing those games to remain available. There's a list of, what, 220 games that are not back compat, and I have that list and I've got it stapled on my forehead, and I'm like, how can we make sure you can play them still? So it looks like Phil got the message that a lot of us were trying to send this week, which was, don't be like Nintendo. Think of preservation, think of those games, think of player access. The problem here is that Phil, like other executives in the gaming space, don't really know how to do that because they're always thinking with their business hat and not their human hat. Because he went on to say, I will say for us that preservation that's linked to only one piece of hardware is a challenge, because there can be hardware love as well. People who love and want this device to do this forever, but mechanical things will break over time. But that's why we gave people with this decision a year. Let's say, hey, if you want to go and buy things in the 360 store, we're going to give you a year head start and you can go get those things. And just know that the list of the 220 games is something that we see, and we would love to find solutions for those games to continue to play. So to summarize, they are looking for solutions. They don't have any right now, but the thing you can do is just go buy all those games if you have the money and put it on a console that they admit will eventually break. It's not a great solution, but it is a solution. I guess it's good they're thinking about it. I don't know. Also in the news, Epic Games really wants to be in the Cool Kid exclusivity club, introducing the Epic First Run program. If you're a third-party dev and you've got yourself a fine game coming out soon, they're offering you 100% of your net revenue for 6 months if you are exclusive with the Epic Games Store, a store notoriously loved throughout the gaming world. Then after 6 months are up, Epic is back to taking their 12%. According to the site, this program will open to developers and publishers with registered Epic Game developer accounts and eligible products launching on or after October 16th, 2023, and must be a new release game or app which has not been previously released on another third-party PC store or sub-service, which is just a shot at Steam, which is your biggest competitor, whether you're Epic or GOG or whoever you are in the PC gaming space. The question is, will anyone take them up on the deal? I mean, yeah, of course, some companies will, but will it be anything that will drive traffic to Epic Games? Because they need some new and big winners there. As reported by Video Games Chronicle back in March, CEO Tim Sweeney admitted that a handful of major exclusives really moved the needle. And the smaller games, especially games that had a smaller audience that was typically on Steam, we found that a lot of those players weren't willing to move over. So if you're Remedy and you're releasing Alan Wake 2 on the Epic Games Store, you're doing great. But if you're an indie dev, you really need to weigh the cost benefit of this whole thing. Because yeah, you can make 100% by releasing on the Epic Games Store, but it may be 100% of a smaller number than if you were to release everywhere. You know what I mean? And that is going to be something a lot of devs are thinking about, especially considering even Epic Games is saying, yeah, people don't really seem to want to move off of Steam. Same thing happened with YouTube. All the YouTube competitors, even Twitch, right? All the Twitch competitors, yeah, there are plenty, there were more, and people just go with what they know and what they're comfortable with. It's the reason why people will buy one laundry detergent, even though there are a bunch of different options. It's the one they've always used, you know what I mean? That's just what it is. That's how humans work. So this may be a really great deal, but it may in the end not be enough to draw a lot of people over to Epic. I do not know. Very curious to see how this turns out. Anyway, that is it for me. It is 6 a.m. Yes, I woke up that early. I've got to catch a flight to Chicago. I'll see you if you're in Chicago at the very sold out live show, or Monday for another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.